Good morning. Morning to those joining us for this Five Precepts ceremony. It's actually quite an auspicious day. They're doing a Five Precepts ceremony at Heart of Wisdom, which is the first event since the time of COVID that something is happening at Heart of Wisdom. And these two precept ceremonies are happening at the same time. And we didn't know that. We accidentally or on purpose scheduled them together. So know, those of you who are taking the precepts, that you are taking the precepts with the whole Sangha. Yeah. So we do these precept ceremonies, and there's this famous quote by Daido Roshi, the founder of Zen Mountain Monastery, who says that ceremony and ritual is a way of making the invisible visible. And what does that mean? Well, in this case, we all, I think, can speak for every human on the earth, lives by or has some sense of an internal code of ethics, or lives from a certain set of aspirations. Or you could even say vows, or is living into or has deep questions about what does it mean to be truly human? What does it mean to manifest compassion and love? To be a responsible citizen on this planet? To be a responsible citizen in this global society, in our communities, in our homes, in our families. And so the precepts are speaking out, saying out loud these internal codes of ethics or internal questions that we are wrestling with or engaging with all the time just to live a human life. We give voice to our commitment to live ethically. We give voice to our commitment to live a life of deep self-reflection. And in doing that, we're also asking for support, saying, I can't do this on my own. Or maybe that I was never doing this on my own. I've inherited beliefs, I've inherited a certain kind of code of ethics, I've been conditioned by this world, and now conditioned by this community, by my spiritual life, by my meditation practice, and new insights are opening up. And I want to live the inner connection that I'm understanding, coming to know more intimately as a deep experience. And you're all implicated in that, Sangha. So please hold me in this. It's a way of looking at what we're doing here today. The precepts come from one mind. What does that mean? Selflessness. They are rooted in compassion, understanding, love. And these precepts, the first 5 that we will be doing today, are foundational across all major religions, all spiritual traditions. You could say even they are the natural expressions of the human heart. In preparation to take the precepts in our tradition, we ask people to undergo a period of study, of self-reflection, and of atonement. To take these precepts and use them as mirrors to better understand yourself. Understand this body, heart, mind, this individual life and the way that it's been conditioned and the way that it understands and navigates the world. Look at those deeply held beliefs where we contract because of fear or ignorance or greed. And to also look and understand the self in the larger sense, our interconnection with all life. And in doing that, we discover that these precepts, which seem so simple on the surface, have deeper dimensions of reality, of the nature of mind, of the nature of interconnection. So from one mind, from nature itself, you could say from a more cosmic perspective, or from the perspective of wholeness or perfection, which these precepts point to, they're pointing us back to the nature of reality. They're pointing out instructions, they're affirmations, they're reminders of our true nature. So this is from Dogen Zenji, and I wanted to share this today, partially inspired by a conversation I was having with Rai. The first pointing out precept is non-killing. And Dogen Zenji says, life is non-killing. Right there, what life is he pointing to? Whose life? This one life that we're held in, could say the life of the universe or the cosmos. Life is non-killing. The seed of true nature grows continuously. Maintain life. And second, non-stealing. The mind and externals are thus, which you are aware of, and the objects of the awareness are thus. The gate of liberation is open. And third, not being greedy. The three wheels, body, mouth, and mind. Body, speech, and thought. Body, mouth, and mind are pure and clean. Nothing is desired for. When we touch in with that state of mind of pure satisfaction, nothing is desired for. Go the same way as the awakened ones. The fourth, not telling lies. The Dharma wheel unceasingly turns, and there is neither excess nor lack. And fifth, not being ignorant. It has never been. Don't be defiled. It is indeed great clarity. So our practice invites us into this view of perfection, of clarity, of nothing lacking, of no excess or lack, nothing desired for, satisfaction, of oneness. This view, which you could say is as vast as the sky, and asks us to trust in the unbreakable nature of reality. And yet, to be meticulous in every circumstance, in every moment. So from one side, these precepts can't be broken, and from the other, we're always breaking them. They're impossible vows from one sense. We open our mouth and we say one word and we're already not saying something, not representing the whole truth, lying. We eat a meal and recognize that we kill to sustain our life. Beings are harmed through our efforts to sustain life. So to hold both of these views is one of great maturity and humility. It's of atonement and gratitude simultaneous. Simultaneous, I'm sorry and thank you, which is the representation of the vow in our practice. And to hold both of these views takes great maturity, and that's why we have a process for the precepts. The precepts are nested within, in our tradition, a meditative practice and an insight practice. Great study and great reflection. We call this the middle way. And the middle way is one of great responsibility, to live a life committed to continuous reflection and inquiry. It makes me quite happy when we get the opportunity to do one of these ceremonies, because it speaks to somebody's internal maturity to hold these views and to still walk forward knowing I'm going to continuously make mistakes. And that's part of this life of practice. That's part of being a human being, and my heart will mature from it. These precepts also have an aspirational quality, a quality to live a beautiful life. So we have the renunciation side, do not kill, but a firm life. So stepping into this boundless possibility to live a life that's generous, that's true, honest, that has reverence for life, that is compassionate, that is clear seeing. And in doing that, we recognize those qualities in others and are inspired to water these qualities, these boundless qualities of the heart in everyone we meet. So may this ceremony inspire all of us to reflect deeply on our commitments in our life and to live beautifully and to continue to evolve our hearts. So I am going to switch positions now so that those who are joining us on live stream, I know Allie's family is here, thank you for coming, can see the participants and witness them in these aspirations. So, intermission for a second. The 5 foundational precept ceremony is the foundation of the religious life. Maintaining and honoring these 5 precepts is common to all religious traditions. Without keeping these precepts, the spiritual life is beset with difficulties and obstacles. Surmounting these leads everyone to keeping the 5 precepts. These precepts have been kept by the Buddhas and ancestors. They do not arise from ourselves, but are expressions of our true mind. Myoyu will now bring the preceptees to their seats.
You need the microphone turned on.
I have it on. The ceremony begins with vows of gratitude and vows of atonement. We start with vows for our parents for the gift of this life. So please make 3 vows in the direction of your parents. And Allie asked if her parents are on the screen, on the camera, can she bow to them? Yes, good. I'm not good at this. North.
Yeah, northwest.
And you can stay standing. Next you will do 3 vows to the Sangha here and also our virtual Sangha. Next, you will do 3 vows in gratitude for the teachings of the precepts that have been handed down through our tradition, and I represent the lineage at this moment, so I will receive them. And now you can kneel again in choki. The first part of this ceremony after gratitude is a practice of atonement. Throughout the course of our lives, we have all been unskillful, committing self-centered, unkind, wrong actions on many occasions. Some of these actions we remember, many we have forgotten. For a person of goodwill, the burden of these unskillful actions is heavy and creates a legacy of twisted karma. Others have suffered because of our misguided actions. Please bring to mind the weight of these misguided actions. Everyone, of course, is welcome to do this part. Now I'm going to ask the preceptees, are you willing to accept the consequences of your actions?
Yes, I am.
Are you willing to atone for committing these actions and release them?
I am.
Is it your intention to refrain from these actions in the future?
Yes.
3 vows. Kneel in choki. Next, we will recite the Gatha of Atonement, and I ask the Sangha to please join in. Gatha of Atonement. on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. This next part is we're using water to represent the purity of your original nature, and a reminder that at any time you can return. And how do we return to the present moment and let go and remember natural purity? And all is forgiven, and we live the consequences of our actions. But remember, you have the power to forgive. Let water be a reminder. I'm going to do it 3 times. With water, we all know that after it rains, everything feels alive and fresh and new. It's same with remembering our vows and recommitting ourselves to the path. Know that all actions lead to results, but confession and setting forth a true intention to avoid evil, to do good, and to help others purifies your body and mind. From now on, the truth is your master. Do not be misled. Now move on to taking the 5 foundational precepts. In the Zen Buddhist tradition, we take personal responsibility for how we respond to the complex and challenging situations of our lives. The intention we hold behind each action will turn the direction of our life towards what is wholesome and healthy. In this spirit, we take the 5 precepts. So please repeat after me. I vow not to kill.
I vow not to kill,
but to cherish all life.
but to cherish all life.
Will you maintain this precept with your whole heart?
I will.
Please do one vow. And then you can kneel back down in choki. I vow not to steal,
I vow not to steal,
but to respect the belongings of others.
but to respect the belongings of others.
Will you maintain this precept with your whole heart?
I will. I will.
One vow. I vow not to misuse sexual energy,
I vow not to misuse sexual energy,
but to be respectful in mind and action.
but to be respectful in mind.
I vow not to lie,
I vow not to lie,
but to speak and embody the truth.
but to speak and embody the truth.
Will you maintain this precept with your whole heart?
I will.
I vow not to misuse drugs or alcohol,
I vow not to misuse drugs or alcohol,
but to keep the mind clear.
but to keep the mind clear.
Will you maintain this precept with your whole heart?
I will.
These 5 foundational precepts were handed down from the time of Shakyamuni Buddha, generation after generation to me, and now I hand them to you. Will you maintain them well?
I will.
Will you maintain them well?
I will.
Will you maintain them well?
I will.
One vow. Now you can kneel in a more comfortable position. So each person, as part of this ceremony, sewed what we call a wagesa. And this is a symbol for you of your commitment. And so we speak aloud the vows in this particular way, but each person has formulated and is living into the question of what these vows mean for them. And this also crafted from your own hand is your reminder to continue this life of self-inquiry. So this first one is Rosie's. I'll incense it. And at the monastery, we wear our precept garments as a reminder, and we put them on every morning, and then we sit zazen with them on every evening and wear them to formal gatherings like class. And in a way, you can't take the precepts off, but it's a reminder of picking back up the intention every morning, every morning, every morning, for the rest of your life. I give you this as a symbol and a reminder of your vows. May you live them fully and benefit everyone you encounter. Please stand up now and do one bow to the Sangha, and then Myoyu will lead you in Juhai, which is a standing bow, and each person in the community can return their bow as they walk by. Now you have to learn how to bow with those. And we'll close with the 4 great bodhisattva vows, if someone could hop on, Doan.